Now to a conversation with Domino CEO Patrick Doyle. He was the keynote speaker at Business Leaders for Michigan CEO Summit in Detroit last week, and he shared with me what Michigan needs to do to be more competitive in landing business, plus a plan for education in the state, and what a Trump administration means for business around the U.S. Take a look. Let's talk a little bit about Michigan and the state of our economy right now and how businesses are able to do business. Let me ask you first off, are we doing the best we can in terms of attracting new businesses to start up here in the state of Michigan?
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly still opportunities, but there are always ways we can get better. We've been talking a lot at Business Leaders for Michigan about kind of, some of the attraction tools that we use as a state to bring more businesses in. But at the end of the day, I think the most important thing that we can be doing as a state is to make sure that we're investing in the education and the talents of the people of our citizens. Because if you've got a great workforce, that's ultimately what's going to attract in business. That's what's going to allow people to grow their businesses in the state. So not only about bringing new businesses in, but it's also about capturing the growth from the existing businesses. So if we're equipping our workforce better than other states, we're going to grow faster than other states.
I do want to ask you detail about what that investment specifically means, but before we get to that, tell me what other states are doing that maybe they're doing well, that maybe Michigan could be emulating when it comes to investing in business and bringing business here.
Yeah, I think where our opportunity has been on some of the attraction tools. So it's, there are states, some of our surrounding states, Ohio and Indiana, have been very aggressive about kind of incentives to get companies to move in. We've tried, I think, more as a state to make it a great level playing field opportunity for everybody. But if you're going to get that big new plant, that big new investment, it's a competitive market out there among states to bring those in, and so I think sometimes we haven't been as aggressive there as we could have been.
And is it also that there hasn't been continuity in that as well? Do you feel that there has been changes and up and down, so businesses aren't really quite sure where they would stand in the next couple of years as well?
Yeah, I think that's absolutely true, and so having consistency around that, kind of putting that in place, and there are things that are working their way through the legislature right now, I think, that would help that would give us kind of the tools that we need permanently to be able to attract in some of these bigger projects.
All right, well, that's investment, but you also said we need investment in education, and investment means money. So when you're specifically talking about investment in education, are you talking about higher ed? Are you looking at skilled trades, K through 12?
All of the above.
I know it's a little bit D, all of the above. Tell me specifically what you would like to see.
Yeah, we've been involved. You start with pre-K, in fact, and and the investment into pre-K. What we know and kind of all the educational research shows is that if you can get kids at 3, 4, 5 years old and get them prepared to enter school, that's where you're going to actually get your best return. So doing that, making pre-K education available to everybody is important. A lot of work to be done still on K through 12. We haven't been as involved there, but we continue to look at that and view that as being, I think, critical for the state to get that right. I've personally been very involved with higher education. How do we make it more affordable, accessible, and then critically importantly, how do we drive completions? Because at the end of the day, what really drives value for people who are going and paying for an education is the completion, is getting the 2-year degree, getting the 4-year degree. That's what dramatically changes kind of the economic outlook for that person. So it's not just about investment and access, it's also about how do we make sure that the students that are starting are given the tools they need to complete.
All right, we just had an election this week.
I heard we did.
I know. I mean, you might have heard a little bit about it, but we are going to be having President Trump in January. What does a Trump administration hold for American businesses? Yeah. So as a business leader, and you sit back and you say, all right, what kind of change are we going to have?
Right. I don't know exactly what the changes are going to be, but I can tell you what I hope for. And what I hope for is an investment in a aggressively kind of pro-growth agenda. At the end of the day, the way you have an inclusive society is by having everybody have an opportunity to be involved, providing jobs and more jobs for people, better jobs over time. And so, we're going to see as the agenda kind of is rolled out, I think, over the course of the next 100 days, as a cabinet is put together, as kind of the key players in each of those areas, get involved. But I think there are a lot of things we can do, from, a broader level, tax for both corporations and individuals that I think is very pro-growth. Doesn't even have to, it can be revenue neutral, but simply, getting rid of a lot of the inefficiencies, the ability to attract cash that a lot of corporations, not Domino's, but a lot, have overseas because the heavy tax if they bring it back into the country. A lot of things that we can do. And then critically importantly, same as for the state at the federal level, investing in people, investing in the skill sets of people, their ability to participate in the workforce, give them the tools that they need to be successful. That's ultimately how we're going to be, successful as a country.
Our thanks to Patrick Doyle, and you can watch our entire interview on our website at myweek.org. All right, guys. Thanksgiving's come up next week. This is your favorite holiday?
It is my favorite holiday. It always has been. And
yeah.
Part of it is that my birthday is always right around Thanksgiving and often falls
birthday,
on
Steve.
Thanksgiving Day. This year it is the day before.
Oh, so we've got a couple more shopping days left.
Yeah, all right. But it's also just, it's not as frenetic, I feel like, the run up to it as Christmas. It's just a day to sort of see your friends and your family and hang out and
sit and watch football and eat.
And the parade.
Though I think a lot of families might be a little tense this year.
Yeah.
So my advice would be just talk about everything else, but just
Don't
chill.
talk about politics.
Don't talk about politics.
Put that right on the door.
Has anybody defriended you or not invited you to their Thanksgiving table, Nolan?
Nobody's liking me right now. I'm getting it from the right and the left. But, Thanksgiving is a good holiday. It's all about eating. You don't have to buy anybody a present except maybe Steve.
You just need to show up. Well, now we've got to stop for Steven's birthday. But Nolan,
that's all you have to do is eat.
Are you guys going to the
There's
parade?
no other...
I live along the parade route, so I don't have to go to the parade.
You'll be pressing your face against the window?
Look out the window and see the balloon.
Nolan, you will not be in the parade.
I had a bad day at the parade last year.
Driving the float?
I wrecked Mother Goose, and I think she's not even in the parade this year. Poor old thing.
Is it not in the parade?
Well, it's an old float,
Nolan
and
broke
that's
the
part of
float.
the reason that it crashed, right? It wasn't in good shape.
We run over several people, but fortunately nobody was killed. No, but I think on the Saturday the 26th, I am the Grand Marshal of the Garden City Christmas Parade.
All right. Something we'll have to look
And
at.
I warned them about my parade curse, so it's on them.
Make sure you put a GoPro on your hat so we can see that video. All right, guys. Hey, happy Thanksgiving. That's going to do it for My Week. Make sure you check us out on Facebook and Twitter at My Week. Thanks so much again for supporting Detroit Public TV. We couldn't do programs like this one without you. I'm Christy McDonald. We'll see you next time. Take care.